into the ECHL Insider. I am your host, Garrett Hunter. Today we will talk conference championship games, but before that, let's talk about the division championships. We'll start in the Mountain Division, where the Idaho Steelheads had a much more comfortable series this time than in round one, beating the Allen Americans 4-1. What a dominating performance in Game 5 by the Steelheads. A 6-0 win, and just Allen really from puck drop in that one had no chance. It was going to be Steelheads the conference title game, and we will talk about their matchup in round 3 later this episode. Also in the Western Conference, we had a sweep in the Battle of Ohio. Toledo Walleye 4-0 over the Cincinnati Cyclones. And boy, that Game 4 was goal after goal after goal in the Huntington Center for the Walleye. I think from puck drop to the end, it was just the horn was sounding over and over. Probably people walking out with their ears ringing. 9-2 the final in that one. A lot of Toledo goals, and they sweep back-to-back series. So the Walleye are 8-0 now in the playoffs, the only undefeated postseason team. Let's go now to the Eastern Conference, where it was the Reading Royals continuing the series, getting their first win in Game 4, but it wasn't enough. Game 5 winners were the Newfoundland Growlers, and they took the series over the Reading Royals 4-1. And for the Royals, the first 3 games in this series were in Reading. That could have been a big advantage for the Royals, but they were unable to get it done. They lost all 3 at home, and you got to think, if you got a 2-1 lead, maybe a 3-0 lead in those home games, would this have been different down the stretch when we transitioned to Newfoundland in this series? And I definitely think if they would have won those 3 games, this series would have been different. But losing all 3, you're not going to win 4 straight at Growlers. They're a great home atmosphere, and the Growlers were able to get it done in Game 5 and win this series. Let's go to our final series of the division finals, the Florida Everblades and Jacksonville Icemen. It was 3-0 when we talked last time in our last episode, and the Jacksonville Icemen responded. Back-to-back wins in Hertz Arena, and then they got to drive up Sunday to Jacksonville for the Monday game. Game 6, though, did not go Jacksonville's way. A 5-2 victory for the Florida Everblades, and when Levko Koper put in that first empty net goal, you kind of knew the writing was on the wall, and the Florida Everblades were going to advance. What a speed play by Levko Koper to beat out the puck there and put it in the back of the net for the empty netter, and the Florida Everblades will advance to the conference finals once again. And then there were 4. Let's move on now to the conference finals. You see the 4 teams in front of me who are left in the Kelly Cup playoffs. We will start in the Western Conference, the Battle of the Fish, the Idaho Steelheads and Toledo Walleye. Boy, will this be a good series. 2 seasoned franchises in the Western Conference. A lot of Kelly Cup titles between these 2 squads. A lot of winning, a lot of postseason play between these 2 teams. So we'll see. This should be a really good series, I expect. I expect this to go to the distance. 7 games is expected between these 2 teams. What a battle it will be. But I have the Idaho Steelheads coming up just short. I think the Toledo Walleye will win this series and go to their 2nd straight Kelly Cup finals. Let's go to the Eastern Conference, where it's a rematch of the last Eastern Conference finals. The Newfoundland Growlers and the Florida Everblades. Boy, will this be a good series. It was determined in only 5 games last year, but the Growlers seemed ready this year to make a much more competitive run at the Florida Everblades. Florida has surprised a lot of people, despite being back-to-back Kelly Cup champs. Just 1 year, they've won the Kelly Cup right now, but they're looking for that back-to-back title right now. But they've surprised a lot of people through the first 2 rounds. We'll see if they're able to get this done against the Growlers. But the Growlers are a great team. You got to think, when you go back to Newfoundland in this series, you got to have a lead if you're the Florida Everblades, because this series is going to be close, and you know how good the Growlers are at home. Last year, the Everblades won both games at Newfoundland. We'll see this year if the Growlers are able to get it done or not. I will pick the Newfoundland Growlers to win this series. I picked against them the first 2 rounds and was wrong, so I got to pick with them now. I'm picking the Growlers and the Walleye to compete for a Kelly Cup. But we'll see if my predictions are correct, and we'll see you next episode to talk about this round before the Kelly Cup Finals.